Dear students, welcome to Doctor's Academy for Taxation and Accounting. Through this video, let me try to explain the various exemptions while computing the fourth head of income, capital gains. The first possible deduction is, as per section 46 subsection 1, capital gains in the case of liquidation of a company, where the assets in species of a company are distributed to its registered shareholders on its liquidation. Such a distribution is not regarded as transfer of capital asset by the company for the purpose of taxation. Therefore, the capital asset transferred by the company to its registered shareholders on its liquidation and any gain arising out of that shall not be taxable under the head capital gain. Secondly, capital gain arising on the transfer of property which is used for residence purpose as per section 54. Any capital gain arising on the transfer of buildings or land appurtenant thereto and being a residential house is exempt subject to certain conditions. The building is owned by an individual or Hindu undivided family. Such property was being used as a residential house. The income of such house property is chargeable under the head income from house property. The exemption will be available only in relation to a house property which had been held by the taxpayer for a period exceeding 24 months before its transfer. The assessee has, within a period of 1 year before or 2 years after the date of transfer, purchased one residential house in India, or he has, within a period of 3 years after the date of transfer, constructed one residential house in India, then it shall be deductible under section 54. Where a part of capital gain is appropriated towards purchase of a plot and a part towards construction of residential house thereon, the aggregate cost shall be considered for exemption under section 54, provided the acquisition of plot and the construction thereon are completed within the aforesaid period. Where an assessee starts construction of a new building before sale but complete it after the sale of the old building, the assessee is entitled for this exemption. Allotment of a flat under the self-financing scheme of Delhi Development Authority is treated as construction of house for this purpose, so that he will be eligible for getting deduction under section 54. Two flats were acquired under different agreement, but map of general layout plan and internal layout plan indicated that there was only one common kitchen for both the flats and both flats were used as a single unit. Flats were constructed in such a way that adjacent units or flats could be combined into one. Thus, two flats were in a single unit and house for purpose of resident can claim the deduction under section 54. Section 54 benefit available even if sold flat was constructed on land occupied by housing society on leasehold basis. Quantum of exemption. The capital gain arising from the transfer of such residential house property is exempt to the extent of the cost of new residential house purchased or constructed within the specified period. It means if the whole capital gain is reinvested in the cost of new house, then it is fully exempt from tax. If only a part of it is reinvested, then the balance of it is chargeable to tax. Where the amount of capital gain is spent partly on purchase of house property and partly on further construction of it, exemption is available in respect of both the amounts. Where the amount of capital gain is not utilized by the assessee for acquisition of new house before the due date of furnishing the return of income under section 139, it shall be deposited by him on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income in an account opened under the capital gain account scheme 1988 with a specified bank authorized by the central government in accordance with the scheme shall be considered for exemption. Withdrawal of exemption and tax on sale of new house. Suppose after availing the exemption, if the assessee sells the new house property, the new house purchased or constructed should not be transferred within a period of 3 years of its purchase or construction. If it is transferred within 3 years, the exemption given earlier to be withdrawn and the old exempted capital gain and the new capital gain, if any, arising on the transfer of new residential house property shall be chargeable to tax as the income of the previous year in which the new residential house is transferred. If instead of capital gain, there is a capital loss on the transfer of the new residential house, it shall be deducted from the exempted capital gain of the old house, and the balance, if any, shall be the capital gain of the previous year in which the new house is transferred. So the point is, the newly constructed or purchased house should not be transferred within 3 years. If it is transferred and arised any capital gain, that capital gain along with the previous household capital gain which we have got exemption, that both has to be taxed. If there is any capital loss on the sale of the new house, that is also can be adjusted with the capital gain which we had earlier with the sale of the old house property. Tax on unutilized amount. If the amount deposited is not fully utilized for acquiring the new house within the period stipulated, that is 3 years from the date of transfer of the original house, the amount not so utilized shall be treated as long-term capital gain of the previous year in which the period specified expires. The taxpayer shall be entitled to withdraw such amount in accordance with the scheme. Effect of capital gain account scheme. The effect of new scheme for deposit is that if the assessee cannot utilize the capital gain for acquisition of a new house or the construction of a new house before the furnishing of his return, he may deposit it under this scheme up to the aforesaid date in order to avail the exemption. After such deposit, he must utilize the amount for acquiring the new house within 3 years from the date of transfer of the old house. Third exemption is capital gain arising from the transfer of agricultural land as per section 54B. Any capital gain arising on the transfer of agricultural land situated in an urban area is exempt subject to the following conditions. Condition 1. The agricultural land is owned by an individual or a Hindu undivided family. The agricultural land was in the 2 years immediately preceding the date of its transfer being used either by the assessee or his parent or a Hindu undivided family as owner or otherwise for agricultural purpose. The assessee has purchased within a period of 2 years from the date of its transfer any other land for agricultural purpose. The quantum of exemption. The capital gain arising from the transfer of such agricultural land is exempt to the extent of the cost of new agricultural land purchased within 2 years from the date of its transfer. It means if the whole capital gain is reinvested, it is fully exempt from tax. If only a part of it is reinvested, then the balance is chargeable to tax. If the amount of capital gain is not utilized by the assessee for acquisition of new agricultural land before due date for furnishing the return of income, it shall be deposited by him on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income in an account opened under Capital Gains Account Scheme 1988 and utilized in accordance with the scheme. The amount already utilized for reinvestment together with the amount of deposit shall be exempt from tax. If this new land is transferred within 3 years of its purchase, the exemption given earlier will be withdrawn and the capital gain arising from the transfer of the new land together with exempted capital gain of the old land shall be chargeable to capital gain of the previous year in which the new land is transferred. Tax on unutilized amount. If the amount deposited is not fully utilized for acquiring new agricultural land, within 2 years, the amount not so utilized shall be treated as the capital gain of the previous year, in which the period of 2 years from the date of transfer of the original agricultural land expires. Further, the taxpayer will be entitled to withdraw such amount in accordance with the scheme. Effect of capital gain account scheme here. The effect of new scheme for deposit is that if the assessee cannot utilize the capital gain for acquisition of new agricultural land on or before the due date for furnishing the return of income, he may deposit it under the scheme up to the due date for furnishing return of income in order to avail this exemption. After this deposit, he must utilize this deposit for acquiring new agricultural land within 2 years from the date of transfer of the old agricultural land. According to section 54D, capital gain on compulsory acquisition of land and buildings. Any capital gain arising on the transfer by way of compulsory acquisition under any law of land or building is exempt subject to the following conditions. 1. The land or building should be used by the assessee for the purpose of industrial undertaking. The assessee has used this land or building for the purpose of business of industrial undertaking for at least 2 years immediately preceding the date on which the transfer took place. And the third point is the assessee has within a period of 3 years after such a transfer purchased another land or building or constructed any other building for the purpose of shifting or re-establishing the industrial undertaking or setting up of another industrial undertaking in that building, then he will be eligible to get deduction under section 54D. And the quantum of exemption, if you look at, if the amount of capital gain is less than or equal to the cost of new land or building, the entire amount of capital gain will be exempt from tax. If the amount of capital gain exceeds the cost of acquisition or construction, only the excess shall be chargeable to tax. If the amount of the capital gain is not utilized by the assessee for the purchase or construction of the new land and building before the due date of furnishing the return of income, it shall be deposited by him on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income in an account opened under the Capital Gain Account Scheme 1988 and utilized in accordance with the scheme. The amount already utilized for reinvestment together with the amount of deposit shall be exempt from tax. In addition to that, if the aforesaid gain is charged to tax in the relevant assessment year, without waiting for the fulfillment of the conditions of acquiring another land or building within 3 years after its transfer, and if subsequently the assessee acquired another land or building within the aforesaid 3 years of period, the assessing officer shall amend the order of assessment so as to exclude the amount of capital gain not chargeable to tax under section 54D. The rule applies to section 54 or 54B also. Withdrawal of exemption and tax on sale of new asset. As we discussed earlier, the same thing, the new asset, that is the land or building, should not be transferred within a period of 3 years of its purchase. If it is transferred within 3 years, the exemption given earlier will be withdrawn, and the old exempted gains and new capital gain, if any, arising on the transfer of the new asset shall be chargeable to tax as the income of the previous year in which the new asset is transferred. Tax on unutilized amount. As we discussed earlier, the same thing. If the amount deposited is not fully utilized for the purchase of construction of new land and building, for the purpose of shifting and re-establishing the business of industrial undertaking within a period of 3 years after the transfer of the original land and buildings, the amount not so utilized shall be treated as capital gain of the previous year in which the period of 3 years expires. Further, the taxpayer will be entitled to withdraw such amount in accordance with the scheme. Effect of capital gain account scheme. The effect of new scheme for deposit is that if the assessee cannot utilize the capital gain for acquisition of new land and building for purposes of shifting and re-establishing the business of industrial undertaking on or before the due date for furnishing the return of income, he may deposit it under this scheme on or before the due date for furnishing the return of income in order to avail this exemption. After such a deposit, he must utilize the amount for acquiring new land and building within 3 years from the date of its transfer of the original land and building. According to section 54 EC, capital gain arising from transfer of long-term capital asset invested in long-term specified asset. Where an assessee transfers a long-term capital asset and invest the original gain in the long-term specified asset, that is the new asset, the assessee shall be entitled to exemption as per the following conditions. That 1. The new asset should be purchased within 6 months from the date of its transfer of the original asset. If the cost of the new asset is not less than the amount of capital gain, the whole capital gain shall be exempt. If it is less, the amount invested shall be exempt. Where the new asset is transferred or converted into money within 3 years from the date of acquisition, the exempted amount of capital gain shall be chargeable to tax as long-term capital gain of the previous year in which the new asset is transferred. Where the assessee has claimed exemption in respect of new asset under this section on such cost, he will not be entitled for deduction under section 80C. Maximum investment in specified asset. The investment made in the long-term specified asset by an assessee during the financial year in which the original asset is transferred and in the subsequent financial year shall not exceed 50 lakhs. Where a capital asset is converted into stock in trade, the investment under section 54 EC can be made within 6 months from the date of sale or otherwise transfer of stock in trade and not within 6 months from the date of conversion of capital asset into stock in trade. Where the assessee held depreciable asset for more than 3 years and capital gain thereon was invested in NABARD bonds assessee would be entitled to exemption under section 54 EC. There are two amendments with effect from assessment year 2019-2020. Exemption shall be allowed on transfer of long-term capital asset being land or building or both only. Investment shall be made in bonds redeemable after 5 years and issued on or after 1st April 2018 by the National Highway Authority of India or by the Rural Electrification Corporation Limited or any other bond notified by the central government in this behalf. The sixth point is capital gain arising from transfer of long-term capital asset invested in units of a specified fund with effect from assessment year 2017-18 as per section 54 EE. Provisions of this section are exactly same as we discussed previously, section 54 EC, except the asset in which long-term capital gain, a unit or units issued before 1st April 2019 of such fund as may be notified by the central government in this connection. The next point is section 54F, that is exemption from tax on long-term capital gain on investment of the consideration in residential house. Long-term capital gains are exempt under this section if the following conditions are satisfied. The assessee is either an individual or a Hindu undivided family. Second, the assessee has transferred a long-term capital asset which is not a residential house. The assessee does not own more than one residential house on the date of transfer of original asset other than as mentioned in point 4. The fourth point is the taxpayer purchases within a year before or within 2 years after the date on which the transfer took place or constructs within a period of 3 years after the date of its transfer one residential house in India. The fourth point says the income from newly acquired residential house is chargeable under the head income from house property. Co-ownership in second house does not lead to denial of section 54F exemption. If the above conditions are satisfied, the capital gain arising from the transfer will be treated in a concessional manner as under. If the cost of the new house that has been purchased or constructed is not less than the net consideration in respect of the capital asset transferred, the entire capital gain arising from the transfer will be exempt from tax. If the cost of new house is less than the net consideration in respect of the asset transferred, the exemption from long-term capital gain will be granted proportionately on the basis of investment of net consideration either for purchase or construction of the residential house. If the amount of net consideration is not utilized for the purpose of purchase or construction of new residential house as aforesaid, and it is deposited by the assessee in capital gain account scheme on or before the due date for furnishing the return of income and utilized in accordance with the scheme, the exemption will be granted accordingly. Withdrawal of exemption and tax on sale of new asset. The exemption shall be withdrawn in the following circumstances. Where the assessee purchases or construct any other residential house other than a new asset mentioned in point 4 above, within the aforesaid period of 2 years or 3 years, the exemption under this provision, if allowed, shall stand forfeited and shall be deemed to be the long-term capital gain of the previous year in which such residential house is purchased or constructed. If a taxpayer transfers the newly acquired residential house within 3 years of its purchase or construction, then the amount of capital gain exempted on the transfer of the original asset shall be deemed to be long-term capital gain of the year in which new asset is transferred. tax on unutilized amount. If the amount deposited is not utilized wholly or partly for the purchase or construction of the new asset within the period specified in condition point 4 above, then the amount not so utilized shall be treated as capital gain of the previous year, in which the period of 3 years from the date of transfer of the original asset expires, and the assessee shall be entitled to withdraw the amount in accordance with the aforesaid scheme. For claiming exemption of the capital gain under section 54F, new residential house need not be purchased by assessee in his own name. Now let us see section 54G, that is exemption of capital gain on transfer of asset in case of shifting of industrial undertaking from urban area. Capital gains on shifting of industrial undertaking from urban area to non-urban area are exempt if the following conditions are satisfied. The assessee transfers a long-term or short-term capital asset in the nature of a plant, machinery, building or land. It means exemption is not available on capital gain on the transfer of other assets, example furniture. Such assets should have been used for the purpose of business of industrial undertaking situated in urban area. The asset should have been transferred in connection with the shifting of undertaking to a non-urban area. The amount of capital gain should be utilized by the assessee within a period of 1 year before or 3 years after the date of transfer for the following purpose. 1. Purchasing new machinery or plant and or acquiring land or building or constructing building for the purpose of business in the area to which the undertaking is shifted. Shifting the original asset and the transfer of the establishment of the undertaking to such area, and incurring expenses on such other purposes as may be specified in the scheme framed by the central government. The newly acquired machinery or plant or land or building must be held by the assessee for 3 years from the date of their acquisition. Advances paid for the purpose of purchase and or acquisition of plant or machinery and land or building amount to utilization by the assessee of capital gain under section 54G. The quantum of exemption is, if the aforesaid conditions are satisfied, the treatment of capital gain will be as under. The capital gain arising from such a transfer shall be exempt to the extent of such gain has been utilized for the aforesaid purposes. It means that the amount of the capital gain is greater than the cost and expenses incurred in relation to all or
any of the purposes
mentioned in point 1 to 3 close D above. The excess of the capital gain over such cost and expenses shall be taxable capital gain. If the amount of the capital gain is equal to or less than the cost and expenses mentioned in the above point, the entire capital gain will be exempted from tax. Where the amount of capital gain is not appropriated or utilized by the assessee towards the cost and expenses incurred in relation to all or any of the purposes mentioned above within 1 year before the date of transfer of the original capital asset, or which is not utilized by the assessee for all or any of the purposes mentioned above before the due date of furnishing the return of income under section 139 clause 1. It shall be deposited by him on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income under section 139(1) in the capital gain account scheme 1988 and utilized in accordance with this scheme. The amount already utilized for all or any of the purposes aforesaid together with the amount so deposited shall be deemed to be amount utilized for the cost of the new asset, and the exemption will be granted as per point 1 above. Withdrawal of exemption and tax on sale of new asset. Suppose the new asset is transferred within 3 years of its being purchased, acquired or constructed or transferred. The cost of new asset shall be taken as nil to the extent of the exempted capital gain. It means that the exemption already granted shall stand withdrawn and the entire net sale consideration of the new asset will become capital gain. However, if the cost of the new asset was more than the capital gain exempted, the cost of new asset for calculating the capital gain at the time of sale of the new asset within 3 years of its acquisition shall be the cost as reduced by the amount of capital gain already exempted. Tax on unutilized amount. If the amount deposited in the capital gain account scheme is not utilized wholly or partly for all or any of the three purposes mentioned in point D above within the period specified, that is the 3 year from the date of its transfer, then the amount not so utilized shall be charged as capital gain income of the previous year in which the period of 3 years from the date of its transfer of the original asset expires. The assessee shall be entitled to withdraw such amount in accordance with the scheme. Exemption of capital gain on shifting of industrial undertaking from urban area to any special economic zone. Capital gains on shifting of industrial undertaking from urban area to any special economic zone are exempt if the following conditions are satisfied. The assessee transfers a long-term or short-term capital asset in the nature of plant, machinery, building or land or any right in building or land. It means exemption is not available on capital gain on the transfer of other asset, for example, furniture. Such assets should have been used for the purpose of business of industrial undertaking situated in urban area. The asset should have been transferred in connection with the shifting of the undertaking to any special economic zone, whether developed in any urban area or any other area. The amount of capital gain should be utilized within a period of 1 year before or 3 years after the date of transfer for the following purpose. Purchase machinery or plant, acquire land or building or construction of building for the purpose of his business in the special economic zone. Incurs expenses on shifting the original asset and transferring the establishment of the undertaking to the special economic zone, and incurs expenditure on such other purposes as may be specified in the scheme framed by the central government on shifting of industrial undertaking from urban to special economic zone. Where the amount of capital gain is not appropriated or utilized by the assessee for the purposes aforesaid before the due date for furnishing the return under section 139(1), it shall be deposited by him on or before the due date of furnishing the return of income in capital gain account scheme 1988 and utilized in accordance with this scheme. The amount already utilized for the purposes aforesaid together with the amount so deposited shall be deemed to be the amount utilized for the new asset. Computation of capital gain on sale of new asset. Where the new asset is transferred within 3 years of its being purchased, acquired, constructed or transferred, the capital gain shall be computed as under. Point 1. Where capital gain are equal or more than the cost of new asset, the cost of the new asset shall be taken as nil and the net consideration shall be the amount of capital gain. Where the capital gain are less than the cost of the new asset, the cost of the new asset shall be the cost as reduced by the amount of capital gain. Accordingly, the capital gain shall be the net consideration less cost of new asset, means cost less capital gain on the original asset. Tax on unutilized amount. if the amount deposited is not utilized fully or partly for the purposes specified in point 1 to 3 within the period of 3 years from the date of transfer, then the amount not so utilized shall be treated as the capital gain of the previous year, in which the period of 3 years from the date of its transfer of original asset expires, and the assessee shall be entitled to withdraw the amount in accordance with the aforesaid scheme. Exemption of long-term capital gain on transfer of residential property, section 54 GB. It is entitled only for an individual and for a Hindu undivided family. A long-term capital asset being a residential house property or a house or a plot of land which should be transferred before 1st April 2017, or in the case of eligible startup before 1st April 2021. Conditions for exemption. The assessee utilizes the net consideration for subscription in equity shares of an eligible company before the due date of furnishing the return of income under section 139(1). If he invests less than the net consideration in equity shares, the proportionate capital gain shall be exempt. The company utilizes the money within 1 year from the date of subscription in equity shares by the assessee for purchase of new asset being plant and machinery. In case of an eligible startup being a technology driven startup, the new asset shall also include computers or computer software. The point 3 says, if the company does not utilize the consideration received from issue of shares to the assessee for purchase of new plant or machinery before the due date of furnishing the return of income by the assessee, the consideration not so utilized shall be deposited in specified bank or institution in notified scheme. The profit on deposit in point 3 shall be enclosed with the return of income of the assessee. Withdrawal of exemption. If the amount deposited in specified bank, etc., is not utilized within the period mentioned in point 2 by the company, the proportionate capital gain shall be chargeable to tax of the assessee of the previous year, in which the period of 1 year from the date of subscription in equity shares by the assessee expires. If the assessee sells or otherwise transfer the shares, or the company sells or otherwise transfers the new plant or machinery within 5 years, or computer software within 3 years with effect from the assessment year 2020-21, from the date of acquisition, the exempted capital gain shall be deemed to be the capital gain of the previous year in which the shares or new plant or machinery or computer software is transferred or sold. If there is gain on transfer of shares to the assessee, it shall be chargeable to tax in his hand. If there is gain on transfer of plant or machinery to the company shall be liable to pay tax on it. And the eligible company are: it is a company incorporated in India during the period from 1st April of the previous year relevant to the assessment year in which capital gain arises to the due date of furnishing the return of income under section 139(1). It is engaged in the business of manufacture of an article or thing, or in eligible business. It is a company in which the assessee has more than 25% of the share capital or more than 25% of the voting rights after the subscription in shares by him. It is a company which qualifies to be small or medium enterprises or eligible startup. Extension of time for acquiring new asset or depositing or investing amount of capital gain as per section 54H, where the transfer of original asset, that is residential house, land appurtenant thereto as per section 54, agricultural land section 54B, land and building of an industrial undertaking according to section 54D, or any long-term capital asset according to section 54 EC, and long-term capital asset other than residential house property, that is 54F, is by way of compulsory acquisition under any law, and the amount of compensation awarded for such acquisition
is not received by the assessee on the date of its transfer,
the period of acquiring new asset, or the period for depositing or investing the amount shall be extended in relation to the amount of compensation as is not received on the date of its transfer. The extended period shall be reckoned from the date of receipt of the compensation. Taxability of unutilized deposit under capital gain account scheme 1988 in the hands of the legal heirs of the assessee. If an individual dies before the expiry of the stipulated period under sections 54, 54B, 54D, 54F, 54G, and there remains unutilized the amount deposited in the capital gain account scheme 1988, such amount is neither taxable in the hands of the deceased nor in the hands of the legal heirs. The legal heirs do not receive it as income, but they receive it as part of their estate devolving upon them. I hope the various sections associated with the exemption while computing capital gain income is clear for you. So we have discussed the section 54, 54B, 54D, 54EC, 54EE, 54F, 54G, 54GA, and 54GB. Through this video, what we have tried is to explain the theory part of deductions under the various sections of 54 while computing the capital gain income. So we will try to incorporate these sections while discussing the problem in the upcoming videos. Hope this video is going to be useful for you while learning the head of income capital gain videos. Thank you very much for watching my channel Doctor's Academy for Taxation and Accounting. If this video is useful, kindly share it with your friends and others in your contact. If you have any comment or suggestions, kindly leave it in the comment box. Thank you very much once again for watching my channel Doctor's Academy.